Now, what are the 4 happiest words in the whole Torah? Well, those are the words that appear, I would argue, at the beginning of Parashat Vayera. Vayome Hashem el Avram, and Hashem said to Avram. The Rebbe Rayatz said that when he heard his father, the Rebbe Rashab, laying these words for the first time, he became a Baal Teshuvah. The Rebbe Rashab would lay these words with tears of joy in his eyes. But why was he so moved by these 4 words, right? Well, he was moved because of the fact that they came out of the blue. The Torah does not say anything about Avraham's merits, his ma'asim tovim, or good midot prior to this. The Torah only basically says where he lived, who he was born to, who he married. And then suddenly, out of the blue, the infinite creator of the universe, the King of Kings, Hashem himself, approaches him. Stunning, right? Now, we can't frame this, as I said, as a response to Abraham's sincere service. This isn't even mentioned by the Torah. So that's revealing something about Hashem. Hashem has a desire of his own for Avram, essential, unchanging, and eternal. Now, it's said in the Midrashim that when Adam sinned and Hashem returned to the garden and found him hiding, he lamented. Josephus actually says it quite beautifully. He says, Adam used to enjoy conversing with Hashem, and Hashem, for his part, would delight in it. But then he found Adam hiding from him, so of course he's going to lament. Hashem Shekhinah left the world at that point. However, when Avram arose and performed good deeds, the Midrash says, Hashem returned. So, hold on a minute. Now it seems like, actually, it was talking about something Avram did that invited Hashem to speak to him, right? And this probably sounds better, because if Avram hadn't done anything to earn Hashem's love and choice, then it would be a free gift, arbitrary, and carry with it the bread of shame. Still though, how can a mortal human earn Hashem's love? So how can we resolve firstly these 2 ideas and this paradox? So let's look at what Hashem actually commands Avram here. Go from your land, from your birthplace, and from your father's house. So this leads on to a very important question. The question of, who are we? Some people say we are the product of our nature. Some say that we are the product of our nurture. And some say that we are all just the same, right? They're all right. We are all the same. We're all given a Yetzer Hara, a Nefesh Bahamit that seeks materialism. It limits us and makes us materialistic, indulgent, and self-seeking. This is our land, our connection to materialism. We are also the product of our upbringing and our culture, the habits that are given to us in the environment that we grew up in. This is our birthplace. Now finally, we are also the product of our nature, the DNA that we inherit from our father's house, and the traits and the temperaments, etc. What do all these have in common? Well, what they all have in common is that we didn't choose any of them. We didn't get to choose anything, really, about who we are. Our parents? No. Our gender? No. Where we're born? No. What traits we have? In fact, if you think about it, even the things that we think we choose, right? Like what we like and don't like, we didn't get to choose. Why do I like meat and my wife doesn't? Why do I like black shoes and you like brown shoes? If you think about it, this should annoy us. This should make us feel ashamed. But most people, we may feel like we chose that, but if you really think about it, no, we didn't. So this should be annoying to hear. This should be bad news. We should be ashamed by it. But most people are not. Most people go along with it and never question it. People will follow their Yetzer Hara like it's a religion. People do crazy things. They'll get tattoos, listen to terrible music, dress up with weird clothes, get crazy haircuts, pierce themselves, speak disgusting language, and do all of this because they think that's who they are, that's what they chose, and that helps them express themselves. They don't want anyone to tell them what to do. The thing is, they never stop to actually realize that they're proving to the world the exact opposite. They are not being themselves at all. They didn't decide any of this. It's all a product of their upbringing, their DNA, and ultimately, whatever Hashem chose for them, right? Hashem doesn't want this for us, though. Hashem commands Avram to leave all this. Leave your land, leave your birthplace, and leave your father's house, and go to where I will show you. Hashem is saying to Avram this: I gave you a very lofty soul, and as a result, you spent your whole life doing good deeds, right? The Midrashim do tell us all the amazing things Avram did before Hashem spoke to him for the first time. And that's also mentioned a bit later on in the Torah. I shone a bright light into you, Hashem says, and so it's in your nature to do good. Therefore, it's not saying anything about you. In fact, the Shem Shmuel gives an opposite explanation for the same point. He says, why does Avraham long for good and light and Hashem and mitzvot? Why did he have a teshukah for these things? It's because he was placed in a dark place, in the house of an idolater, Terach, and had lots of resistance to being good. So he said, don't tell me what to do. And he had a grass is green syndrome reaction to it for light and for goodness. And that's still just another natural trait, and therefore not saying anything about Avram himself. And therefore his teshukah for good was not considered a teshukah atzmit, an essential teshukah. Listen, we have to know who we are. We are from a very lofty place, a little piece of Hashem's atzmit, himself, his essence. The only place where true originality can come from. That's why we have to go where he shows us. We are not just a body, and we're not even just a soul. We're not limited by these things. We are beyond all that. We get so hung up on this, though. We chase after every single thing that gives us pleasure, simply because it gives us pleasure. We never stop to realize that, hey, we never chose any of this, and therefore this is not who we really are. We never feel ashamed that we simply chase after what Hashem programmed us to enjoy without a second thought. Therefore, the real us never gets to express itself. Hashem is the one who teaches us how. Chazal tell us about the greatness of Hashem and how we should emulate this particular point. When they teach us the story of the Anshe Knesset HaGadolah, the men of the Great Assembly, how did they get their name? So the Gemara says they got their name because they returned the greatness, the Gedulah, to Hashem. What does that mean? It means like this. When the nations came along and destroyed the Beit HaMikdash and enslaved Yisrael, Moshe's praise for Hashem, that he was El HaGadol HaGibor VaNorah, the great and strong, mighty and awesome God, that praise was weakened. It looked, chas v'shalom, that Hashem wasn't so great, he wasn't so mighty, and it wasn't so awesome. Look what happened to the things that he cares about. Anshe Knesset HaGadolah came along and said, no, on the contrary, this is his might, that he restrains his wrath and grants the wicked time, that he can bear to see his beloved children suffering and withhold his anger. This is his awesomeness, that one nation, Israel, can survive among the nations. So Hashem says to you through the Torah, look at me. I am not created. I don't have a nature. I don't have a nurture. Nothing tells me what to do. For real. Nothing is making me like good over evil. Nothing is making me choose Yisrael over Amalek. I chose these things because I am the true master of myself. That's why I approached Avraham without even mentioning his deeds. I wanted you to know that this is who I am. Avraham is mine. He's my choice, my love. And as such, I love him and get joy from him in the very core of my being and essence. I want this for you too. I want you to choose me with your very essence and being. Therefore, you have to conquer your nature and conquer your nurture. As Ben Zoma says, Ezehu gibor hakovesh et yitzra. Shne'emar, tov erech apayim gibor u'moshe brucho milochet ir. Every day, we should leave our land by choosing one material comfort and try to resist it. We should leave our birthplace by breaking our habit, trying to do one extra mitzvah just for Hashem. And we should leave our father's house and work on one midah, such as our anger. Try and control your anger just once today. Or concentrate on your prayers with emotion and heart. Just one extra prayer today. Okay? And what does this achieve? Well, in Kabbalah, it's called an or chazer, a returning light. Avram was given an or yashar, a shining light, a straight light that shone into him from above, a free gift that made him into a good person, beyond all temptation. We experienced this or yashar also on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, for example, and Sukkot, when we feel the temptations and the negative habits and traits weaken their hold on us automatically. This light also shines throughout the year in our good habits, our regular habits, our effortless good traits. However, this does carry with it the bread of shame. This is the part of us that we didn't choose for ourselves. We're not being in charge of our own destiny. We're not being men, women. When we do these extra steps with Kabbalat Ol, going against our nature, we produce an or chazeh, a returning light, which comes from an even higher place. We actually become the masters of our own destiny, people who choose with their very self, rather than their ta'ivot, their yetzes, their temptations, their nature and their nurture. Avram's light began as an or yashar, a gift from above, Hashem's free love, but through Lecha it turned into an or chazeh, his own love back to Hashem, chosen from within himself. If we master ourselves, it will improve all our relationships, right? Not just our godly relationship, all our relationships, and it will give us success and blessing in everything that we do. Real men, real women who can truly connect to others, not based on our desires and temptations and the benefits we can get, but through real authentic choice, true love and real joy. I want to know that a person was not forced to love me. It wasn't their nature to love me. I want to know if their love is real. I want to know if my wife's love is real. I want to know if my children's love is real. I want to know that my love for them is real too. I am the master of it. Okay? If I'm not the master of it, then it's not real, is it? But at the same time, if they didn't earn it, then it's a free gift. So how do we resolve this? Well, let's just note this. By mastering ourselves, we emulate Hashem. We become our own masters, not robots. And in so doing, we bring him an eternal joy, a nachat ruach to him, beyond all measure and proportion. Okay? Hold that thought. Now let's look at Noach versus Avram. Noach is described as Ish Tam, a pure man who walked with God, and he found favor in God's eyes. So he received Hashem's free love. Why? Because it was Noach's nature to be good. He didn't earn it. He didn't do anything like Avram did. Hashem says to Avram, Hithalech lefanai v'heyeh tamim. You earn it. You walk with me, yourself, and you become tam. Do it yourself and do it with your own power. Noach found grace in Hashem's eyes. Noach matzah chen be'nei Hashem. Chen is a free gift, right? But in Noach's case, it's sheker achen, as Chazal say. Because Noach didn't earn it, it really was a truly free gift, absolutely free. But with Avram, what's the difference? Avram earned it to some degree. Hashem loves Avram anyway. He does. The love that Hashem has for Avram comes from Hashem himself, in that place where we're not even allowed to talk about, beyond creation, beyond the highest heavens, beyond the Or Ein Sof. Hashem's love comes from that place before even the world was created. It's Hashem. Now, he could reveal that love anytime he wants, but Hashem chose to set it up this way. I will reveal my love when you reveal it. You have to take the first step. You have to become a master of your own destiny and love me and choose me on your own accord. That will reveal my love. And that's why it's still called chen, because my love is so infinite that no matter what you do, it's not going to reach that place where the love really comes from, but it's still set up that way. You do your bit and I'll do mine. That is a real relationship. A real relationship is like this. I choose you because I'm the master of me. Now that I've chosen you, every last thing that you do matters to me. So much so that some things you could do could be so devastating, like we say. If we hadn't chosen Hashem back, he would have destroyed the whole world. And not because he doesn't care. Like we said, his love is essential. And that's why the Alter Rebbe says, chas v'shalom, on that particular point, that if we hadn't accepted the Torah, Hashem would destroy the world, chas v'shalom. Why chas v'shalom? There wouldn't be any of us left to worry about. It would be as if there never was. The chas v'shalom is on Hashem. It would be so devastating for him. But he is strong, he is mighty, and he doesn't settle for anything less than true love, where we get to choose him back. That's how romantic he is. That's how romantic a real, holy, godly relationship is. And that is why the Rebbe Rashab cried. He could see that in the way Hashem approached Avram. He saw all of this, that this is true love. This is a true opportunity for a true, beautiful, intimate relationship. Something that Hashem gives us as a gift that we have to earn. By leaving our nature, by leaving our nurture, becoming the masters of ourselves with Kabbalat Ol, a precious opportunity that we have every single day. Let's not squander it. B'nai Elim.